All right, it's on. All right, hey guys. Today the topic of interest is creating a vision. Now, one thing I've realized is this: like, in order for us to live a life of intention, it's important that we see an end goal, an end picture of how we want our life to be. And one of the most powerful ways for us to create a vision for ourselves is seeing the end. And when I'm talking about seeing the end, I'm seeing like thinking about death, like not to sound morbid or anything, but really thinking about death and really thinking about death, because you find that oftentimes death puts things in perspective. It makes us realize and wakes us up to understanding what's really, really important. Like today, I went to a funeral today. It was my friend's grandma's funeral. So I went, and I went to the funeral. And just being at the funeral, it put a lot of things in perspective for me, right? Like there were loads of, it was for the most part, it was a very positive funeral. It was a really, really, really good send off. It was really positive and all that. However, there were people who were speaking about the lady who died and stuff. And there was this one lady who said something that really hit me. That really hit home. Well, she was like, let's say the lady who died is called Margaret. We'll say, yeah. So she was up there talking, and she's like, oh, Margaret was a great lady. And this is the polygon. She said this. She was like, oh, Margaret was so great. She was so fantastic. Yada yada yada. But the thing that really pains me is this, right? For years and years and years, she was trying to get me to come over to visit her for Christmas. But it's so sad that it had to come to this for me to come and visit her, right? The lady who died had been asking that lady to come over, inviting her over and over again because they're family and they loved each other. But the lady never really managed to make time to go see her. And it wasn't until she died that she'd made time to go see her fellow relative, right? And I thought that's really sad. And for the most part, like I said, it puts things in perspective, right? Like even me, I'm not perfect because I know like there's some people in my life that I love and I cherish, but I don't always show it because sometimes I'm always working, so I'm not always there, so I miss certain events and stuff like that. But just by seeing that, I was thinking, you know what? There's some aspects of my life that I need to change. I need to like make more time for some of the people that I care about, which comes back in line to creating a vision for your life, right? When you understand that death is a part, when you understand that your time is limited, you're able to see like, okay, this is what I want. So I named this video 2 questions to ask yourself because I'm going to share with you 2 questions that you really want to ask yourself, which are going to help you direct your life in a certain way. So for example, right, the first question that you want to ask yourself is this, right? Envisage your funeral and ask yourself this: what would I want the people I care about to say about me? Now just ask yourself this: what would I want the people I care about to say about me? What would I want my work colleagues to say about me? What would I want my family members to say about me? And when you have that in mind, and literally write this out, when you write it out and have it in mind and you're aware of what you want them to say about you, you're able to direct your behavior and direct your life in a way by which will allow them to say that sort of thing about you. So for example, for me, I'd want my mom to say that, like if I was to die before my mom, or I'd want my mom to say like, my son was caring, he was loving, he was there, he was present, he was there for me, yada yada. I'd want my sister to say the same thing. So because I have that in mind, that's my end vision of how I want things to be. I'm learning now, or I'm going to be applying very soon to spend more time with them. So to like put my phone away and actually listen and pay attention. You know what I'm saying? So that's one powerful thing as well. Like my work colleagues, what would I want them to say about me? I'd want them to say that he was a hard worker, he was honest, he was diligent, he was reliable. So I'm going to apply myself and apply my behavior to make sure that they would be able to say that about me, or I've done all in my power to make sure that they say that thing about me, that I'm reliable, I'm diligent and all that. So it's about creating a vision for yourself. So knowing the end goal, because once you know the end, you can work backwards and create the behavior that will lead you to that direct end. So that's the first question to ask yourself. What do I want the people I care about most to say about me? The second question to ask yourself is this: what do I want out of life? And this is a very, very powerful question. So ask yourself, what do I want out of life? Not what do I think I can have out of life. Ask yourself, what do I want out of life? Right? Because a lot of the time, right, when I ask people like, what do you want out of life? What do you want to do with your life? People play small, right? Like in the heart, there's something that you want. There's something that's really big, but you don't go for it. You don't commit to it because you don't think that you can do it, right? So you think, so instead of thinking like, I want to own a multi-million-pound business, you say you don't go for that. You say, you go realistic. So you think, you know what, I'm gonna work as a builder or whatever. It doesn't really matter what you do. It's about you going after what is important to you. But a lot of the time we play it realistic, right? But you have to understand this, right? Realism does not exist, right? The only thing that's stopping you is the imagination that you have. You can do anything you want to do, right? But the only thing that's stopping you is your imagination and your beliefs. That's it, right? Now, if you look at history, there are loads of people who've done amazing things, and a lot of the people who create a lot of the inventions that we're enjoying today were not realistic people, right? Or we're not people who were deemed realistic. So think about this: like the Wright brothers, the people who created the airplane, created air travel. That was unrealistic, right? From the point where people were not able to travel by air at that time, and they're thinking, yeah, we're going to create a flying contraption device that's going to fly people to different countries. That is unrealistic, right? Or the person who created the telephone, you know, like wireless communication. That is unrealistic. To think that you can communicate with somebody, you know, without any wires or anything, right? Back then, people were using like, what are they using? Like doves, like messenger doves or something like that. Yeah, back then, right? That's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? The person who created electricity, people are only using candles, right? People are using candles, and this person's like, yo, I'm gonna allow you to use light without the candle, right? That's unrealistic. But the reason that they're able to do that is because they were able to channel their imagination to create the desire for the thing that they wanted. So the same thing with you, right? You can have whatever you want to have, right? It's just about your imagination. It's about you, like, really, really thinking about what you want, obsessing about it, and then devising a plan for it. So that's another thing. What do you want out of life? And when you figured out what you want out of life, right? You see the picture. So see the end goal. See the thing that you want. See yourself doing it, right? See yourself at the pinnacle, and then work backwards, and then devise a plan. So, like, for example, for me, like I've said it many times, I want to be a peak performance coach. I want to be a speaker like Tony Robbins. That's what I want to be. I want to be up there helping people with mental health issues and all that stuff. So I've got a picture of that end goal, which is, boom, I want to be up on those stages. So now I work backwards. So I've devised a plan, working backwards to get me to the place I want to get to. So for example, for me, the first step is to learn stuff. So learn stuff that's going to be able to help people. So I've started studying. And the second step, get myself out there. I start doing videos, right? I start posting on Instagram, that sort of thing, right? So it's about creating a vision for yourself and then working backwards with it, okay? So ask yourself, what do you want? And then grow into the person you need to become to have that thing, right? That's what it's all about. Life is all about growth, right? Don't be afraid or intimidated by your goals by thinking, you know, I could never do it. You know, I'm not that type of person who'll be able to achieve that goal. No, it's about you growing into that person who's able to achieve that goal, because that's what your very nature is about. You're all about growth. We're all about growth. We're all supposed to be growing, right? So that's what it's about. That's what's important. So those are the first two questions you need to ask yourself if you're going to be able to create a compelling vision for your life and then acting accordingly. So the first thing is this, like, number one, ask yourself, like, what do I want the people I care about most to say about me, right? And number two, what do I want out of life? Like, what do you want? Not what do you think you can have? No, what do you want? And then see it in your mind, and then work backwards and create a plan, devising backwards, and then start working on it. So that's the message of the day, guys. Like, death really, really brings things into perspective. Not to sound morbid or anything, but it's so true, because a lot of things we worry about, a lot of things that we concern ourselves with don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So put things in perspective, guys. Okay, so that is the video of the day. Goodbye.